Time for the Midas Tire and Auto Service experts. All to the pen. It's Travis Wood. And yes, it is raining in San Diego.
Well, that song is a lion. It does rain in Southern California. 72nd time he's got out there. He leads the club in appearances, 4-0 with a 314 earned run average. There's Waldo.
Suarez, not Irabarren. One and one. Former Red Travis Wood. Fans on their feet. Bounce to short. Russell's up with it. Cubs win. Cubs win their 96th victory. Magic number for best record in the league is down to 3. And they beat the Reds for the 12th time this year.
John Lester picks up his 18th win, allowing just 1 run in 7 innings. Multi-hit games for Fowler, Bryant, and Rizzo. Jason Hayward on base 3 times. Bryant 3 out of 5.
So the Cubs now need to go just 4 and 7 to get to 100 wins. I hope to do a lot better than that. They're 54-23 at home. They're already clinching this series. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow night. Toast of the game is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. John Lester had the go-ahead RBI for the 2nd straight start, so his offense has been good, but that's not why we're giving it to him. He was really good on the mound.
Yeah, he also walked and scored a run to go along with that RBI double. His main job, of course, is getting hitters out, and he was good at that again tonight. 7 innings of 1-run baseball. For the big lefty, didn't walk anybody, punched out 5.
We're going to find out what made John so good tonight from the guy who called all the pitches. Kelly Kralls with David Ross.
Well, David, you and John got the scoring started there, and you really had to kick it into high gear. How long has it been since you scored from first?
It's been a while. I hit third base, and I didn't know if I was going to make it, honestly. That funky piano, everybody in the stadium jumped on my back when I rounded third. Legs got a little heavy. I might need to work on that a little bit more.
I know you're working out all the time with Anthony Rizzo, so we knew you had it all the way coming around there. But listen, John, his 18th win of the season, how does this compare the role he's been on to other great years he's had, and how do you keep it going for October?
He's been phenomenal. I think just staying sharp like he's doing every time out. He's given us a quality start. The run again tonight was pretty much my fault. Backdoor cutter, bad call. The guy's been lights out. I called a terrible pitch. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for me, probably would have gave up 9. So he's been phenomenal. It's as good as I've seen him. He's really moving the ball in and out, sinking, cutting, changeouts working, curveball. I know he only had 5 strikeouts, but guys are having to swing because he's pounding the zone.
Well, I know he appreciated the effort of the head-first slide there at home, so that counts for something. But you're the guy who always has the pulse, the best pulse on this team. You're the glue guy. That's what Joe calls you. Is there a message right now that you're pushing with the guys, or that you just want them to be ready for in the next couple games?
Yeah, the head-first slide one was just me falling down. So but I think the message is just continue to get better, challenge yourself, challenge one another, take the extra base, just fine-tune things. Same things we've been doing all year. I mean, we've been trying to just be the best team that we can be, and that's all we can control. So if we go out on a daily basis and try to be the best team that we can be, I think we're going to be just fine.
All right, I'll have Bussy push you a little harder from here on out, okay?
I appreciate that.
David Ross, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Kelly. Always great to hear from David Ross, and we're back with you Monday night from Pittsburgh, 6 o'clock Central Time, as the Cubs open up a 4-game set. For JD and our entire CSN crew, and a big thanks to our entire home crew. We've had a fun year here at Wrigley Field. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs postgame live is coming up next. Len Casper with your final score once again. Cubs 6, Reds 1.
Cubs get it done again. Outstanding starting pitching. They get more than enough offense, and they beat the Cincinnati Reds. Cap and Holly with you, Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live. That is a starting pitcher who is locked in.
Well, that's a starting pitcher that's locked in. That's a team that's locked in. That was a professional game right there. That's what you want to see. You want to see stolen base attempts. You want to see hustle doubles. You want to see the long ball as well. But good with runners in scoring position, good defense. I kept thinking Addison Russell. He turns that double play there in the 9th inning. You know, he's over in the ball game. You know, those are things that you pick up on in these games that don't carry a whole lot of weight. Outstanding performance from John Lester once again tonight. Just an all-around good game. I'm really excited about tonight's ball game as opposed to what we've seen. Last night was good. That Milwaukee series I didn't like so much. But tonight, outstanding.
Man, let's just keep our fingers crossed. John got hit on the wrist. You could see the bruise on it.
Right.
But he was able to move the
That was
wrist
a great
around.
sign.
Stayed in the ball game, but you saw how quick Joe Madden and the training staff were out there. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing that, you know, you've got to be so careful of at this time of year, right? We're talking about reps and getting guys ready and the maintenance program that everybody seems to be on right now in preparation for the playoffs.
And then Joey Votto smokes one back up the middle.
Anybody hurt. I mean, it is unbelievable. You just can't have it happen now.
All right, we'll take you through all the highlights. We'll show you that play as well. A lot to do. Cubs beat the Reds. They get it done. Cubs win. We'll be right back on Comcast Sports Net. Yeah.
Comparing midsize sedans? Here's what puts the Kia Optima ahead of the Nissan Altima. The Kia Optima has an available surround view monitor and turbo engine. The Nissan Altima does not. The 2016 Kia Optima is a KBB.com Best Buy Award winner. The Nissan Altima came up short there, too. Discover the next generation Optima. It's not your average midsize sedan. Lease the Optima LX for only $179 a month or get 0% financing. Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Kia dealer for details.
So, with that box, you'll be the first to win PlayStation VR. Player one. Soon, it spreads like wildfire. Humanity becomes so plugged in, we never see them coming. That's why I was set back to stop you.
Oh, hey, I won.
Right.
The future of gaming starts at Taco Bell. Grab any $5 box and you could be one of the first to win PlayStation VR.
Keep your loved ones safe and protect your home with Kidda safety products from Menards. Choose from a great selection of smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, fire extinguishers, and more for your home. This battery-operated smoke alarm with hush button is just $5.99. This battery-powered carbon monoxide alarm features a 10-year alarm life, only $11.99. Stay safe with big savings on Kidda safety products during the fall catalog sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Ford is America's best-selling brand, and you can see why. Ford Fusion has the turbocharged power and efficiency of the EcoBoost engine and handles almost any condition with intelligent all-wheel drive. Plus, Focus offers next-generation voice-activated Sync 3 technology and the added safety of the blind spot information system. Right now, get a Focus or Fusion with 0 for 72 plus $17.50 bonus cash, or lease a Fusion for just $189 a month. Only at your local Ford store.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Audi, truth in engineering. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Fans on their feet. Bounce to short. Russell's up with it. Cubs win. Cubs win their 96th victory.
Cubs get win number 96, reduce their magic number for best record in the National League and home field through the NLCS to just 3. 6-11-1, a whole lot better than 1-7-0. Chicago now 96-55. The Reds 63-88. Welcome into Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live. He's Todd Hollandsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Offensively tonight, good to see John Lester swung the bat. He also drew a walk. Jason Hayward hit a home run last night and had a hit tonight. Good to see certain things happen.
Well, and also kind of connecting it. You look at the top of the lineup, Fowler, Bryant, Rizzo tonight go 7 for 13, 5 RBIs. Fowler had the stolen base. Chris Bryant had the hustle double. I mean, these are all the details. You thought, if you listened in last night to Joe Maddon's press conference, talked about it after the game, what do these games mean moving forward? You know, kind of looking to shape your game, get it ready for what you believe the postseason is going to be, kind of getting yourself there, getting your game back on point. Well, that's just it. We've watched this team an awful lot this year. Yeah, power is part of it on offense. The great defense has been there. You saw that again tonight. But the hustle, the effort, that was there tonight, and that was what really impressed me about tonight's ball game. They piled on in a couple innings, drove in some big runs. Anthony Rizzo, a couple base hits the other way. Love what we had going on at the top. And you're right. I mean, you look at the lineup top to bottom, there were contributions up and down.
All right, let's begin with our Elk Grove pitching recap. John Lester scattered 6 hits over 7 innings, allowing just 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts and no walks. Josh Smith, 66 pitches in 3 innings, allowing 1 earned run. He just piled up that pitch count early. And our UPS store taking care of business player of the game is our starter John Lester, now 18-4 in the year with the win tonight. He was really good.
I had nothing to worry about as far as his left arm is concerned, or left elbow, or left side. We're just more concerned with his right side. Make sure that wrist is going to be okay. You watched early in the ballgame, wasn't piling up the strikeouts. Did end up with 5 strikeouts in the ballgame total. But early on, the ground balls, that's the one thing that stands out to me. I talked about it all season long, almost like a surgeon out there, using all of his pitches, both sides of the plate, cutter into righty, setting up the 2-seamer away, keeping the ball on the ground. Even the base hits early in the ballgame for the Cincinnati Reds were on the ground. So much action down in the zone. This is where John makes his money and makes his living, picking up his 18th win of the season. Outstanding performance again. Only concern, like I said, coming out of this one is that you sit back and you think, okay, how is that wrist going to feel? Good to see him kind of give us. I mean, we were all nervous for him. I mean, moving that wrist around, because that's big. And you and I talked about this. If that wrist, if something, heaven forbid, is broken or something, I mean, you're probably not going to be able to pitch with it. So you have to make sure that everything is A-okay in there. And he was swelling up and bruising up rather quickly.
Yeah, you could see the bruise on his wrist. He took a shot off the bat of Joey Votto, right back at him, not on his pitching hand, but on his glove hand, and it got him right above the glove. And you could see the black and blue mark.
Instantaneous. Yeah.
Instantaneous. And, of course, Joe Maddon and the trainers. Here's the play right here. That ball right back off him, and he goes down like, uh-oh. And immediately, here comes Maddon. Here comes the trainer. That ball smoked. And he tried to catch it, just didn't get it. You could tell he is in a little bit of discomfort there.
Well, no doubt about the discomfort, but all of the signs that you're seeing, even putting his hands together, those are all very good signs for us at home. Again, none of us are doctors, bruise. Right? I mean, you see how he's kind of using his wrist and he's moving it around. Those are all good signs. I've learned them from the broken bones I've lived with. Action, motion, early on is a very, very good sign. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed until we know for sure. But it looks like obviously he's going to be, I believe, okay. He's going to have a big bruise there for a little while, and it's going to be sore. But again, as I said, the left wing all good.
All right. Lester lowered his ERA to 2.36 after tonight's game, trailing Kyle Hendricks, who leads the majors at 2.06. Last time pitchers from the same team finished with the top 2 ERAs in the majors way back in 05 when Roger Clemens sported a 187, Andy Pettit at 239 for the Astros, turning that trick. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights. Lester was not only the star on the mound, he delivered at the dish as well. Let's take a look at these highlights. Lester smokes this ball. I mean, that ball's crushed.
107 miles an hour off the bat. He's got it in him. Listen, we talk about some of the longer home runs. StatCast is absolutely outstanding with MLB. MLB.com, they show you what the velocity is of the ball coming off the bat. 107 miles an hour. Some of your longer home runs this year, 115, 120. But for Johnny Lester, boy, oh boy, he's a big guy. Look at that balance right there, man. That swing is really starting to come around. Stays strong on his backside, uses that front side for leverage, drives it to center field. And then, oh, Rossi, the old man. Look at this. You think he had to slide it home? No, he did. You know what that is right there? That is, my legs are getting short. You know what ends up happening? You get about halfway around third base, Cappy, and those hamstrings start to talk to you. That's what ends up happening. He just kind of laid out over home plate.
And then Lester walks.
That's a huge walk, by the way. It's triggered all this action.
With 2 outs, Dexter Fowler comes up and scores Jason Hayward, who'd been on base. And then Chris Bryant hits a blooper, tries to go the other way. It's just poor defense. Joey Votto.
Well, you can call it poor defense. I'll call it poor effort. I'll be honest.
That was poor effort.
Yeah, he did not get back. That ball's over his head to start with, but what you do is do your best to get back as fast as you can. He did not do that. Anthony Rizzo, great piece of hitting right there. By the way, this is all against lefties, so these are things that you want to see. Again, piling on. I love talking about it. It's the one thing that really stands out to me. I learned this early in my career. You know that your offense is starting to roll the right way when you're coming up with big 2-out hits, and you saw that tonight in the ball game. They piled on right there. That Lester walk, that was with 2 outs, and you get back up to the top of the lineup again. Base hit, boom. You're off and running.
All right, time for a break here. Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. When we return, we'll hear from Joe Madden. We'll be right back.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
I've been thinking, this might be the one thing in the world you pull apart to come together.
New Papa John's Cinnamon Pull-Aparts, covered with cinnamon crumble and sweet cream cheese icing. Try our new Cinnamon Pull-Aparts for just $6.
Hey, Papa John's.
This is the last place you'd expect us to talk about staying connected with state-of-the-art technology. Or wow you with a massive touchscreen. Then again, you probably didn't think you'd need your survival skills back on the road either. Jeep Cherokee. Conquer all the world's most challenging places. Celebrating 75 years of the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Or get 20% off MSRP cash allowance for an average of $7,600 in savings on select Cherokee Trailhawk models and dealer stock.
At Cricket Wireless, we believe in smarter phones for all. Switch to Cricket and choose between the free Alcatel Streak and the free ZTE Sonata 3. Ask not what you can do for your network. Ask what our great big network can do for you.
Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Why not? Chicagoland Skydiving Center was voted the best in the U.S. with a perfect safety record, a one-of-a-kind environment, and round-trip shuttle service from downtown Chicago. Come experience the greatest adventure in the area. Chicagoland Skydiving Center in Rochelle. Visit us at perfectlygoodairplanes.com.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema before it's available on Netflix or Redbox.
In December 1977, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren experienced a phenomenon no one could explain. Witness the event that shocked the world. The Conjuring 2.
Movies start at Channel 125.
Hey, earlier today we hosted a Caption This contest on our Facebook page. Jim Dutcher had the winning caption. Step on it, Miggy. The champagne is waiting. Congrats, Jim, and thanks to everyone who participated in Cubs social media night tonight at the ballpark. Welcome back to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. He's Todd Hollingsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Time for the Honda winning box score. And with the Reds in town, hey, Marty Brenneman, this one belongs to the Cubs. Dexter Fowler, a 2 for 3. Chris Bryant, a 3 for 5. Riz with a 2 for 5. So you've got, what, 7 for 13 out of the top 3 guys in the order. And then you had single knocks for Hayward, Baez, Ross, and John Lester, a big double. All right, let's hear from Jolton Joe Madden, Cubs manager, brought to you by Xfinity.
Yeah, I mean, it's really well struck. I went out there. Of course, you wanted none of it or of that. And I had to find out, where did it hit you? Because I didn't even know from the side. And he finally fessed up it was a non-throwing wrist. And he said, I'm fine. And so I watched it, and it looked like he was fine. I asked David when he came in. I said, does it look normal? He said, yeah. So we just went with it. Told him to get out of the game and go ice it. That's what I...
On TV, it looked bad. I mean, it looked ugly.
Yeah, I mean, but he was not even phased. I was watching, even rubbing up the ball. Because the guy, and he's doing this, and it looked normal. So I was looking at all that stuff.
Any need for preliminary X-rays or?
I have no. I don't think there's anything. I have not been told otherwise. We took him out after 7, so I haven't heard anything from PJ.
I mean, that's a close call, but as you move forward, trying to put plans for the next step. You can't dodge the bullet.
Well, I'm glad it didn't hurt him any worse than it did. Typically, I mean, our guys, they just want to keep playing. He wanted to keep playing, and of course, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. We're very fortunate.
Joe, John doesn't like to talk about the role that he's on, but he's obviously on a great.
Not bad.
Can you just talk about it?
Yeah, he was probably didn't have his better fastball today, but he was still very good. I've seen him a little bit sharper lately, but right now he's just, I think he knows when to put the foot on the gas a little bit, maybe not so much on other moments. Just pitching very effectively. He's hitting his spots. There's no question about that. The curve was pertinent today. Threw a couple good changeups, too. So I think he pitched a little bit more today as opposed to just, really relying on his fastball. It was good. It was very good, but he has been on quite a roll.
Hit that double pretty hard.
I tell you, he's got a good swing, man. The guy's got a good swing. I've been saying it. He's got a good hack. He said last year he didn't have any hits, or maybe had one hit, but he hit a lot of balls well, I thought. As he continues to be a national leaguer, this guy should be able to hit a little bit.
That's nice.
All right, we'll be right back. Cubs post-game live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Coming up, we'll look back at Holly's key to the game.
You both have a perfect driving record.
Perfect.
No tickets, no accidents.
That is until one of you clips a food truck, ruining your perfect record.
Yeah.
Now, you would think your insurance company would cut you some slack, right?
No, your insurance rates go through the roof. Your perfect record doesn't get you anything.
Anything.
Perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. What if I told you there was a car company that received all of these awards?
One company, one award in all these? Chevy.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years.
I love it. I'm just going to stay in here. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Qualified lessees can get this Chevy Cruze for around $169 a month. Plus, find your tag to get an additional $500 lease cash on select Cruze vehicles in stock. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Now that Big Papi's retiring, he's being smarter with his money. I need to be smart with my money. So he's become a super savvy shopper. Oh. That's why the Xfinity Best Offer of the Year is a home run. Lock in your rate for 2 years, plus get the X1 voice remote.
There is no crying in baseball.
It's the Big Papi of deals.
I'm not crying. My eyes are just sweating.
Score our Best Offer of the Year on the X1 Triple Play from Comcast for only $89.99 a month and lock in your rate for 2 years. Go online, call, or visit today.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, Climb on.
Hey, Holly, grab your best dress, your green tie and tux, and celebrate the 25th anniversary of Chicago's Gateway Green Tie Ball, presented by PNC Bank. This amazing night of fundraising includes culinary delights from Chicago restaurants, premium drinks, live music, and charitable gaming by Rivers Casino on October 1st at Architectural Artifacts. For tickets and more information, visit gatewaygreen.org. All right, time now for our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot and who's not in their career against Johnny Lester? Who's hot? Tiger first baseman, future Hall of Famer Miggy Cabrera, hitting a ridiculous .533 with 5 RPIs and an obscene 1425 OPS. Who's not? How about the Cardinals' Matt Carpenter, hitting a brutal 167, 7 strikeouts, an OBP of just 242. All right, welcome back to Cubs Post-Game Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Before today's game, Pedro Strop threw a simulated relief appearance and announced he is ready to go. Told me he thinks he'll pitch on Friday. Strop has been sidelined since August the 11th with a torn meniscus and then strained his groin while rehabbing. He's expected again to return Friday. What does his return mean for the Cubs, and how will Joe Madden set up his bullpen down the stretch for the postseason? What do you think?
Well, I think this is going to be a real good opportunity to get some innings. I mean, you can talk about these being low stress. You know, we're talking about kind of getting the Cubs going in gear, and I'm talking about getting the offense rolling. I think for Stropey getting back out on the mound, number one, that's going to be big. Number two, starting to get some results, getting the velocity and getting the feel for being out there again and competing is always the key. The great thing about this is that there isn't pressure that surrounds this. He can come in, think back to Rondon. Even when he came back, the pitch count was a little elevated his first time back. You're going to have to kind of get your timing back and get back into your rhythm. I think that's ultimately going to be the key. And if you're planning on getting him all the way back for the postseason, he needs the work. So you got to get him back out there on the mound as quickly as possible, and it sounds like he will be.
All right, time for another break. When we return, Holly's key to the game. We'll look at tomorrow's mound matchup for the series finale. Be right back. Cubs Post-Game Live, presented by Blue Cross.
If you feel like singing a song and you want other people to sing along, just sing what you feel. Don't let anyone say it's wrong. When there's a light, what light? When there's a light, what light? When there's a light, why light?
The Honda Take Home a CRV sales event is here with incredible deals. Loaded with standard features like Pandora compatibility, a multi-angle rear view camera, and plenty of cargo space. It's no wonder the CRV was named Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Buy for 2016. Hurry into the Honda Take Home a CRV sales event and get a great deal today.
Schlag door locks from Menards are the best for security and style. Add convenience to your doors with a new keyless entry lever. In a nickel finish, it's only $88 after rebate. Discover the many style and color options available from Jeld-Wen and let your only limit be your imagination. Right now, special order Jeld-Wen windows are on sale. Find these and other great deals during Menards Fall Catalog Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
If you have a typical airline credit card, you only earn double miles when you buy stuff from that airline. Wait, is this where you typically shop? You should be getting double miles on every purchase. Switch to the Capital One Venture Card. With Venture, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase, everywhere, every day. Not just airline purchases. Seriously, double miles. Everywhere. What's in your wallet?
It's Peyton on Sunday morning.
E-Man.
What up, Peyton?
You know I have DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket. I get every game, every Sunday, all in HD.
Yeah, I know that.
So you want to come over? I'll make nachos.
I can't right now, man. I'm playing.
All right, pencil you in for Tuesday.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket only on DirecTV and watch live football anywhere. Switch today and get a $100 reward card.
You're watching Cubs Post-Game Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Welcome back to Cubs Post Game Live. Now, time for our Blue Cross Blue Shield key to the game. Holly time.
Well, not overly complicated maintenance program. You heard Joe talking about it again last night, and we wanted to see it again today. Dexter fouled, base hit back up the middle. So many things stand out in this ball game. Jason Hayward, nice ball game. The effort, I guess that's the E for effort, is really what I wanted to see tonight. And then, you know, when you're going up against the Cincinnati Reds, sometimes, you know, I don't want to call it, it's not artificial, the Cubs' effort. It's what you see is that the Cincinnati Reds, typically when you beat a team down like they did tonight, you know, the Cincinnati Reds, their at-bats start to kind of get a little disconnected. You kind of take the win from their sails rather quickly. So sometimes it can be a little harder for you to maintain that edge. You saw the Cubs do that all the way through the game. Who proved that to me in the ninth inning? Addison Russell most definitely did. I thought that was a fantastic double play that you saw there. So you saw the hustle double, the stolen base, the runners in scoring position, the great performance by John Lester in the bullpen. All in all, this is the perfect kind of game that you wanted to see at this time of season, you know, where we're talking about 90-plus wins, working our way to 100, and not a whole lot to be playing for right now. They went out and played the perfect ball game for these circumstances.
All right, let's check out the pitching matchup for tomorrow's series finale. John Lackey against Robert Stevenson. And Stevenson, you know, not bad, 2-1. He has, you know, thrown a lot of innings. And John Lackey, he looks like he's come back very well from his shoulder problem.
Well, I mean, really, I mean, this is, you know, John Lackey, Stevenson. It's a nice matchup, and clearly it favors us once again. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We've got all the starting pitching, you know, best starting pitching in the National League for sure. Going out there playing a similar game to what you saw last night. The challenge, I think, tomorrow is going to be you've got the day after that off. You know, you're in a position where, you know, you want to get some things done and continue to play good baseball. So hopefully they come out ready to play tomorrow and play much like they did tonight.
You know, funny thing is, I was there at the park today. We did Sports Talk Live there, and I get to watch the side sessions. I'm there at 2:30.
Right.
And John Lackey went out and sat on the ledge and watched Jake Arrieta do his side session and was making some comments. And you could see Jake got locked in. Working together.
You get it
good
done.
to see. All right, two Austin guys.
Right.
I'll see you Monday.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks for watching Cubs Post Game Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll see you.
I think, you know, we've been our own worst enemy.
And mounting injuries are a close second. Welcome to Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC. I'm Kip Lewis. John Fox weighs in on Jay Cutler's status for Week 3. Plus, John Lester gets the Cubs closer to home field in the playoffs. And Jose Abreu's teammates respond to his comments about the lack of a winning attitude. It's all coming up right now on Sportsnet Central.
You're connected to Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC.
And we begin with the show with our Ankin Law injury report. A number of serious injuries coming out of last night's loss to Philadelphia, but at least for now, it doesn't appear Jake Cutler will need potentially season-ending thumb surgery. Here's Bears head coach John Fox with more on his quarterback status moving forward.
It's hard for me to give timelines. You know, I think we'll evaluate it tomorrow. We got to practice tomorrow. We're on a short week already. You know, if Jay's ready to do it, fine. If not, we'll go with Brian Hoyer. I think he's shown toughness. I've mentioned that in the past. I don't think that's a question. You know, right now we're not playing as crisp as we need to on offense, and that includes everybody, the coaches, myself, the players. You know, all our signatures are on it, and we've got to play better, and that's everywhere.
You know, John Fox went through the laundry list of injuries today at Hallis Hall. The most serious involves Lamar Houston, who reportedly suffered a torn ACL for the second time since signing with the Bears, and he's out for the year. Starting nose tackle Eddie Goldman is expected to miss the next 4 weeks because of a high ankle sprain. Danny Trevathan will need thumb surgery. He's out indefinitely. The Bears could also be without two members of their secondary Sunday night in Dallas. Adrian Amos and Bryce Callahan are both in the league's concussion protocol. Coming up, former Bears head coach Dave Wannstedt weighs in on this exchange between Jay Cutler and Pernell McPhee, as well as all things Bears on Inside the Huddle. That's coming up at the bottom of the hour. Well, to the Cubs now, and John Lester making his 30th start of the season. It's the 9th straight season the lefty has hit that milestone. We begin in the second. Lester getting help behind him from Chris Bryant. Brandon Phillips at the dish. He lines one into left. Bryant, though, laying out. Takes a hit away. A diving grab for the MVP candidate. You'll see that in our plays of the day, possibly later in the show. And then in the bottom of the inning, Lester with David Ross on first helped his cause.
Lester out of the right center, and that's going to get down. Let's see if Ross can score. Holt's got the ball. Ross around third. Relay throw will not be made.
Stumbling, bumbling, and rumbling. Going good, and about halfway around third here, he's going to just hit some quicksand right there. But he's chugging, he's blowing, and he's going.
Get some oxygen for that man.
Yeah, Lester plating the old fella. Ross for his 6th RBI of the year. Cubs with the early lead. Moving ahead to the 4th. Cubs now leading 2-zip. 2 on, 2 out for Bryant. Pops up Wandy Peralta. Joey Votto with his back to the infield. Runs out to make the play. Ball goes down for a Blute double. Bryant makes it 3-0. Next man up, the other half of the Rizzo connection. Anthony Rizzo goes opposite field. The Ducks on the pond. A pair of runs come home to score. The Cubs score 4 in the 4th. They take a 5-0 lead. So we go to the 6th. Lester in cruise control to this point. Joey Votto stepped in. The former NL MVP smoked a line drive right back at Lester. The ball bounced off the southpaw's arm. He would go down in pain, but he would remain in the game. Thankfully, the ball made contact with Lester's non-throwing arm. There was a pretty nice bruise, though, left as a souvenir. Lester spun 7 innings of 1-run ball, punching out 5 along the way. Good defense, clutch hitting, power pitching, and all together, the Cubs dispose of the Reds 6-1. They take the first 2 games of the series. Afterwards, this is John Lester just moments ago at the podium.
It's my right hand. I don't need it. Like I said, I mean, all it's there for is to hold the glove. It'll be fun. It's a long way from my heart.
John, what did you think of tonight's performance? Was it the hole that you've been on? Did you feel as good as you had?
No, tonight was a little bit of a grind.
Did not get Lester's pitching.
For whatever reason, fastball command wasn't as good as the last couple starts for me. It seemed like when we got some off speed in there later in the game, it kind of locked me back in with my heater. So it was a grind. They've been actually here the last, just from what I looked at the other day, last probably month, maybe a little bit longer. They've been swinging the bats pretty well, having pretty good at bats. So it made me work and get into some deeper counts. Early on, we got some early outs, and then it seemed like they kind of changed their game plan a little bit from there and got some deeper counts after that.
They've been having such good at bats. How did you give up 2 runs in the last 4 starts?
I don't know. I mean,
you look to throw the perfect game every time you go out there.
yeah. I mean, obviously, when you show up, or at least my mindset is when I show up every day, it's obviously the perfect game shutout. And that's what I don't see why you can't show up and just kind of expect that you're going to go out and do that. I mean, once that stuff goes away, you just adjust, and then it's about minimizing. Then it's about figuring out what's going on in the game and what's going on in that particular inning, and then trying to execute pitches to guys after that. So we had a couple jams where we had to make some pitches, and we did, and we got some weak ground balls to some of the infielders, and they did a great job of making those plays. Addy again tonight with a great double play. I think was it the 8th? Our defense has been. I think that's where our pitchers have just been able to relax and know that, hey, I don't have to be so perfect with each pitch. We've got such good defense behind us that it's kind of like, okay, just hit it. Well, those guys will figure it out after that.
John, this was your last regular season start here. You and Jason and Kyle, ERAs under 2 years. Are comfort level pitching at this ballpark, or what is it that you had the success?
Yeah. I mean, you obviously want to pitch well at home, you know. I think it just, you know, you get used to the mound. You get used to, you know, you throw sides on the same mounds and long toss and all that stuff. You work out here. You do the things that you normally do here. So when you're able to go out in front of the home crowd and throw well, you know, it's obviously a big plus. You know, I think it just, you know, it kind of fits your eye here. You know, it's a good mound. It's a solid mound. Home plate seems, you know, fairly close to you. It's a good backdrop. Now obviously the fans are into it every night, which helps us. So, you know, I don't know. It's just it's been a, you know, we've had some luck this year with the wind. You know, I know that's been, our hitters haven't been too happy about that, but this hasn't seemed to slow them down too much. But yeah, I mean, it's just a fun place to pitch. It's a good atmosphere. You know, I know for me, I can't speak for those other guys, but for me, it fits. It's a good feeling when you're out on that mound.
And more work to do, and the heavy lifting is out. But collectively, how much fun has this been just to be part of a really good baseball game this summer?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun last year. We got basically the same team back, so just carried it over to this year. I think the biggest thing for us this year is we've been so consistent. You know, we had a little, which every team goes through it, a little dry spell there, middle of the year. But, you know, I just feel like our guys have been day in and day out so consistent at showing up, getting their work done, preparing for each individual game, worrying about tonight's game, and having fun. I mean, obviously you guys have seen a lot of the stuff that goes on in our dugout, and it's a good thing they don't have those things mic'd, but it's a good atmosphere. It's fun to come to the ballpark every day and play with these guys. Even if you're not pitching, it's nice to sit there and see what these guys might do day in and day out.
Do you expect to start Game 1 of the playoffs and go over that meeting?
I don't expect to do anything. I'm along for the ride. Joe comes up to me and tells me when I'm pitching, I'll show up that day and I'll prepare just like I have the rest of the season. We have a really, really good staff. So if I'm the guy, it'll be definitely a huge honor, especially with the staff that we have. If I'm not the guy, tell me when I'm going. Like I said, I'll be there. I'll be ready. I'll be prepared. I'll give you everything I got. But, I mean, obviously it would be nice to start a home game here, whether it's the first, the second, whatever it is. You know, this atmosphere has been great all year. It's been playoff kind of atmosphere all year. They've expected a lot of us. We've given them a lot, and they give us a lot in return as far as energy. So I'm sure it'll be a pretty exciting night when it comes. But like I said, I mean, I got 2 more, I think, starts left. So we'll worry about those. And like I said, if I'm chosen for Game 1, awesome. It'll be a great honor. If I'm not, it's still a great honor to pitch in the postseason for this team.
The 4 or 5 games since you guys clinched, how much does it feel like there's still stuff to get accomplished or things to pitch more games to win for? So you get home field, obviously, personal things to do.
I mean, I don't know about how our position players feel. I can't really speak for them. You know, they play every day, so I'm sure that the days that Joe has given them have helped them. I hope have helped them feel a little bit better physically. I know I don't care what the lead is, what it's not, where we're at in the season. My mentality is the same going in every start. I want to win every start. So I don't take days off when it comes to that. When it's my day to go, it's my day to go. I'm going to show up. I'm the same intensity as, you know, if it was if it was game one or if we're fighting for a playoff spot right now. So I feel like if I let off the gas mentally, then I'm doing a disservice to my team. So these guys have been great. They've helped us along the way stay within ourselves as far as our defense making plays, and I think that makes our jobs a lot easier. And then obviously pitching here at home.
What would it be personally to win a Cy Young for the first time in your career?
I don't know. I mean, it would be a huge honor. To even be in the consideration. I think I've been in consideration a couple times. Just to even be mentioned in that talk is a huge honor. It's very humbling. But at the same time, like I've said before, the individual stuff is really cool and it's nice. But at the end of the day, the World Series for me is the ultimate prize. I mean, the All-Star games and all that stuff is great, but I'll trade all that stuff in a heartbeat for a World Series trophy. And I've been fortunate enough to win 2 of them, so that just kind of tells you how special they really are, especially for this city, this team, this organization, where it's been, where it's come from, the guys that have gone through the 100 lost seasons. The individual stuff takes care of itself. I'd rather have that big trophy on my mantle, like I said before.
All right, from Chicago to South Beach, the Marlins hosting the NL East leading Nationals. We're scoreless in the 6th. Giancarlo Stanton at the plate, and we're no longer scoreless. He sends one over the right field wall. It's a solo shot, gives the Marlins a 1-0 lead, and that would prove to be enough for all-star righty Jose Fernandez. He was nearly untouchable in this one. He goes 8 innings, allowing just 3 hits while striking out 12 Nats hitters. Don Mattingly removed him after 111 pitches, but David Phelps gets Fernandez his 16th win of the season with a scoreless ninth. The Marlins hand Washington their 4th straight loss, 1-0, the final. The Mets have terrible luck with injuries this season, and now that even includes broadcaster Keith Hernandez, who sported a huge ice pack on his knee during the game. No score in the 3rd with a man on 3rd as Drupal Cabrera lines a double to left field. Jose Reyes scores, and Cabrera slides into 2nd, breaking his belt in the process. The Mets lead 1-0, and Cabrera, thankfully, keeping his pants up. 2-1 Braves in the 7th, 2 runners on. Adonis Garcia takes Jerry Blevins deep to left and gone for a 3-run homer. The Mets drop 2 straight to the last place Braves. 5-4 is the final. Well, the Cardinals and Giants are both currently in action, so if they both win, there will be 3 teams tied for 2 wild card spots. With the Nationals loss and the Cubs win, the Cubs' magic number to clinch home field advantage for the NL playoffs is now down to just 2. Well, growing up, John Williamson's favorite player was Ken Griffey Jr. The Cubs minor leaguer started his college career as an outfielder before switching to pitcher. Now Williamson compares himself to Travis Wood with his sights set on the majors. Off the field, he's drawn comparisons to Eminem. Layla Rahimi profiles the dual career of the freestyle Cub.
This is John Williamson, relief pitcher for the South Bend Cubs. But if you go to the 23-year-old's Twitter handle @JohnnyBaseball, you will see a very different career.
Like, hold up, I hit right this independently driven. Yeah, I'm feeling like a Cubby because I'm finna be winning.
I want to be a pitcher for the Cubs, but hopefully I can twist that into a multi-faceted career.
Okay, I'm living and learning. They think I'm spinning and earning. I'm trying to make it throwing pitches. That's a hell of a burden.
Baseball came way before music, and so baseball's kind of always been my main goal and main dream. And since being drafted by the Chicago Cubs, definitely the goal is Wrigley.
After 2 seasons as an outfielder at Rice University, the 2014 draft came and went. So Williamson focused all of his efforts on pitching. And on June 10th, day 3 of the 2015 draft, the Houston native's dream came true.
When I got that call and said I was going to be a Chicago Cub, it was best moment of my life for sure. If I didn't get picked up, I'm not quite sure where I'd be. I don't think it would have been music, because music kind of sparked from the opportunity that I got with the Cubs.
Williamson's pro career started immediately, and it got off to a rocky start. When times were tough, Williamson would look to his other career to help relax.
Got shipped out to Eugene, Oregon, and didn't have the best season there. And so then I was looking at, went from kind of a high to a very low place of like, okay, I don't know how much longer I can play baseball. Maybe pitching isn't the route. I would just, freestyle lyrics in the clubhouse, try to stay loose for myself and for my teammates, and just kind of doing it as a joke. And it started as a joke because the joke got me away from the struggles of baseball.
Chi-Town right now is the dream team. 2016 about to get the big ring.
As Williamson's baseball fortunes took a positive turn, the attention on his rap game increased as well.
In spring training, the night that I found out I was coming to South Bend, which was, I guess, a promotion because I was in rookie ball the year before, that night I was just freestyling with a couple of my buddies that are in the Cubs organization, and I ended up just putting it on Twitter kind of as a joke.
Like the baddest dude. Fowler on the bases, yeah, we win and pin races. That's a Wrigley renovation, right?
When I woke up, my phone had, 500, 600 notification texts, all this stuff, and I'm going, what happened? How did this happen?
Now I'm on my grind, busting lines for the vine, and my mind's got lines like a vine's got wine. I'm feeling like Kobe. 9 times 9, 81 in the garden. That's a primetime line. Yeah.
Williamson finished a strong first full minor league season in South Bend with a 2-1 record and a 2.37 ERA. With 53 strikeouts and 57 innings of work, the matchup lefty and slider specialist is very serious and careful juggling his two jobs. Music.
Man, I take that back. I throw a ball for a living. Wrecking beats when I'm sipping and changing lanes like I'm kiffing.
And baseball.
Swing and a miss, and Williamson is dialed in today.
That's what's crazy about baseball. Like, a lot of people just say it's a game, but in terms of my life, there have been so many moments that baseball shifted my entire life and my entire experiences with my family or friends or anybody. It's been definitely a roller coaster. It's been a hard balance between music and baseball. But like I said, baseball is the priority, and the Cubs are my employer, and the Cubs are, my priority. And so I'm trying to help the organization first, and then after that, help myself, whether it be baseball or music. I was so blessed to have the opportunity with the Chicago Cubs. Maybe another organization would limit what I'm doing or limit my freedom of speech or say, hey, maybe after the season. But the Cubs haven't done that, and that's why it's so many people say this when you're in an organization, but I definitely know that the Cubs was the right organization for me because of the timing, because of where I was in life, where I was in baseball, and ended up being where I was in music at the time.
And Johnny Baseball has grand plans for both fields of play.
Best in the show, like the Cubs, and my swag so fly, like the flag with the dub.
If I had to choose between winning a Grammy or winning the World Series, with the organization I'm in, 100%, I'm winning the World Series.
And up top, we got Lester and Dexter and maybe Jake. Chi-Town 2016, yeah, I'm sorry for the wait.
You want to be a part of history, and when the Cubs win it this year, it's going to be more than history. It's going to be, life-changing for millions of people, and I can't even imagine or fathom the city of Chicago after a Cubs World Series.
This year is the year. When it happens, it's going to be crazy. Game 7, walk-off. That's the World Series, baby. It's probably going to change the world. This is a free, so you know. And yeah, my name's Swilson. I'm the freestyle pro.
He's got skills. We'll be back to wrap up Sportsnet Central next.
Sportsnet Central on Comcast Sportsnet is presented to you by GMC. We are professional grade. A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. It's the GMC 2016 model year sell down. Now get 20% below MSRP on select Sierra 1500 models in stock. That's over $10,300 on this Sierra SLT Crew.
When you were 8, you wanted to fly. When you were 13, to be a rock star. At 20, an artist. All these years later, you realize you had it right the first time. 2016 Q50 from Infiniti. Lease the all-wheel drive Infiniti Q50 2-liter turbo for $319 a month or finance at 0% APR at your Chicagoland Infiniti retailer.
This has been Sportsnet Central presented by GMC. Everyone in the studio and in the control room wants me to throw a little freestyle rap your way. It's not going to happen. I'll be back at midnight with an all-new Sportsnet Central. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching, everybody.
A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. It's the GMC 2016 model year sell down. Now get 20% below MSRP on select Sierra 1500 models in stock. That's over $10,300 on this Sierra SLT Crew.
Hey, Ralph Punzel.
Oh, hey, Ronnie.
Where are you headed?
Great Clips.
You're getting a haircut?
I checked in already. Using their online check-in.
Online check?
It saves you time.
You're getting a haircut.
Why? Thinking about applying to astronaut school.
That's cool.
Okay, I'll see you, Ronnie.
Save time every time. Download the online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Recent medical studies have shown that the use of talcum powder can cause ovarian cancer. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with ovarian cancer after using talcum powder, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call right now to determine if you may qualify. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait.
Call right now. Call 1-800-649-1687. Again, that's 1-800-649-1687.
Did you know that the average funeral can cost more than $8,300? I didn't want my family burdened with the cost of my funeral, so I called Final Expense Direct and got a policy of my own. For as little as $1 a day, Final Expense Direct has policies that can help pay the cost of your funeral. Plus, you'll get this free family relief guide. There's no medical exam, and my policy can't be canceled.
Call now for a free quote. Call 800-254-5431.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Last night was not acceptable. It was, I think our fans were great. The atmosphere was great. The stage was great. We weren't, and we got to get it fixed.
Wow, we're only 2 weeks into the NFL season, and already John Fox is in crisis mode at Hallis Hall. Welcome to Inside the Huddle, presented by Ankin Law. The coach, Dave Wanstead, knows a thing or two about dealing with injuries and ineffective play. What's the most important thing for John Fox and his staff right now?
Well, it's, from a goal standpoint, there really is only one goal. I mean, everybody, when you go into training camp, everybody's talking at the beginning of the season, win the division and playoffs. I mean, it's natural because the media, we're all talking about it. Well, now all of a sudden you're 0-2, and the focus really needs to be, we got to find a way to win this game. How are we going to beat Dallas? Who's going to step up? Who's healthy? With the guys that are healthy, what can we do to get the most out of their talent? So it's almost a little bit, not back to basics, but it really, when you don't have very many veteran guys that have been there, 7, 8, 9 year guys that have done it, now all of a sudden you're relying on a young roster, and you're going to have to really convince these young players that they're going to have to go out and step up and play at another level.
You'll be hearing the phrase next man up a lot at Hallis Hall this week. Now, losing the home opener to a pretty mediocre Eagles team is one thing, but then you lose your quarterback, almost half of your defensive starters to injuries. That takes 0-2 to a whole new meaning. Take a listen to John Fox running down the list of wounded Bears at his day after media briefing.
Jay Cutler, a right thumb sprain. Kadeem Carey, hamstring strain. Eddie Goldman, ankle sprain. Lamar Houston, knee. Danny Trevathan's a new one, thumb sprain. He is going to require surgery. He'll have that tomorrow a.m. Adrian Amos, concussion in the protocol. Bryce Callahan, concussion. He's in the protocol. And then Chris Brzezinski, calf contusion.
That is quite a list. To recap the most significant injuries, Lamar Houston suffers a season-ending ACL tear for the second time in 3 seasons since he became a Bear. Improving young nose tackle Eddie Goldman expected to miss at least 4 weeks because of a high ankle sprain. Danny Trevathan will have thumb surgery on Wednesday. He's out indefinitely. Jay Cutler will try to manage the pain with his thumb injury, but might need surgery down the road. And, Coach, this is one thing that you can't prepare for, especially with a young team. All these injuries, it really decimates the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it does. And a lot of veteran guys there, you know, a lot of guys that everybody was really counting on. So, you know what, you really don't have time. I mean, they're playing again in less than 7 days, so you don't have time to really think about it, and I think that's what John's doing. I mean, hey, here it is, so everybody's aware up front what's going on, but you use the expression next guy up, and that's really the reality of it today.
When you try to get ready for a season, you don't have a lot of depth on the roster. What are Fox and his staff talking about right now? Because the guys that are in backup roles don't have a lot of experience.
Well, the one position that bothered me more than any was the defensive line. You know, because your secondary, you know, they're a lot of rookies, a lot of first-year players back there. That's probably the most inexperienced part of your defense.
Yeah.
And what helps the secondary? Pass rush and taking care of business up front. So when you start losing those defensive linemen the last couple of weeks, and primarily yesterday, that would bother me.
And the Bears are hoping their front 7 on defense would be much improved this year. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. And you have to think Jay Cutler is out for Sunday night's game in Dallas, especially after watching him struggle to throw the ball during the 3rd quarter against the Eagles. You could tell that right thumb was really bothering him. Cutler badly underthrew a receiver to end one drive, and then this play was the final straw. I'm not sure if it was a bad read or his thumb or pressure or all kinds of things, but Nigel Bradham intercepted it. That set up a touchdown that basically iced the game. And then when Cutler came to the sidelines, he was greeted with some strong words from inactive linebacker Pernell McPhee, who basically told him to wake up. Let's listen to some reaction to that sideline confrontation.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. He's a passionate guy. You know, everyone's got a lot invested into this, and he does as well. You know, no one likes to lose. No one likes to lose in that type of fashion. And you know, he's upset. I'm upset. You know, everyone in that locker room's upset right now. So, but the good thing is we've got a bunch of good guys in there, and we got a bunch of good coaches, and we got 14 games left.
You're going to have conversations. You know, these guys are competitive. You know, we hold each other accountable, and you're going to have not confrontations, but you're going to have conversations, and that's always been the case. You know, any football team I've ever been around.
Well, like John Fox just mentioned, football, a very violent game played by passionate athletes. We see these things happen from time to time, but as a head coach, you have to make sure this doesn't fester in the locker room.
Yeah, there's a fine line, because you don't, obviously McPhee's a captain, you know, so you'd like to think that him and Jay have a rapport off the field, and you know, it'd be no different than you coming up and saying, "Hey, come on, Dave, let's go." You know, I mean, we got to win this game. You know. So it's all a matter, I think, how it's said. The thing you got to be careful of is now all of a sudden a rookie lineman sees that happen, and he turns to Jay and he says something, and pretty soon you got 5 guys talking to 5 guys. It's offense, defense, and nothing destroys a football team quicker than friendly fire, and that could be friendly fire.
Well, Olin Kreutz, the former Bears center, mentioned that Pernell McPhee should worry about getting healthy and stay away from his quarterback. That can cause a division between offense and defense, can't it?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And it's more times than not, games are lost because of what happens internally. You know, the turnovers, the penalties on the football field, but there's things behind the scenes that we saw on camera last night that you just got to be careful.
Right.
The emotions, I get all that, but, you know, there's a very fine line.
Well, if Cutler can't go on Sunday, the Bears have a more than capable backup in Brian Hoyer. He started 22 games for the Texans and Browns over the last couple of years. Hoyer reminded reporters last night that his Houston team last year started 0-2.
They were then 2-5. They came back to win the AFC South. Of course, the Bears don't have the talent that Houston team has.
No, Bears don't have the talent that Houston has, and Bears are in a tougher division.
Yes, they are.
You know what I mean? That would be the other thing, too. Yeah. The division with Houston is probably one of the weaker divisions in football, in my opinion. You know, with Minnesota and with Green Bay and Detroit, the talent that they have, you know, it's not going to be easy. But you know what? He has played, and he's won games. He's gone to the playoffs. I mean, that means something, you know, from a leadership standpoint. If he says something, hey, guys, I've been there, I've done it.
And he's familiar with offensive coordinator Dowell Loggins. They work together in Cleveland, so he should know this offense pretty well.
Absolutely. You know, they should be able to not miss a beat from the standpoint of what they're going to do offensively to attack the Dallas Cowboys this week.
And there aren't a lot of great backups around the league, but at least this guy has experience.
No, he has experience, and he has experience at winning. And I think there's a big difference. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have never gone to the playoffs, and they're backup guys. You know, at least we got a backup quarterback that has proven that he can play. He's won games, and he's been on a team that's fought through some adversity and got to the top.
So that is a positive for the Bears going to Dallas Sunday night. Well, once again, the Bears had trouble running the football, especially in the first half. They managed only 10 yards on 7 carries. Run blocking is supposed to be the strength of this rebuilt offensive line. We haven't seen that so far. Second-year back Jeremy Langford not really finding any running lanes in the first 2 games. Bears did get a spark from rookie Jordan Howard. He had a 10-yard sweep, 22 yards on 3 carries. I know Langford's just getting going in his career, but do you think the Bears will take a look at Jordan Howard now?
Well, they might. When Howard got the ball, and I like Howard out of Indiana, but you know the game was a little bit behind. They were playing pass, and he hit him on a little quick dive right there. You can see it. You know, the one thing when you talk about the Bears running game, a couple things. Number one, nothing helps an offensive line gain confidence, and that's what we're talking about right now. We have to gain confidence. Nothing can happen faster than run the football. That's the quickest medicine to help your offensive line. The second thing is, it's not how many yards you make necessarily. I remember Bill Parcells won the Super Bowl with Otis Anderson. He averaged 2.5 yards a carry, but he carried 40 times. And Parcells said, hey, when we're running the ball, we're using the clock, we're protecting our quarterback, we're helping our defense. And the third point is, Kevin White had 1 carry yesterday with the reverse. Let's find ways to get guys the ball like that. I remember when I was at the Bears, Mike Holmgren he was the screen king of the NFL. Remember that?
Yeah,
and we talked about that, Mark. And his thinking, I talked to him once he left, and I left. He was at Seattle, I was at the Dolphins, and he says, Dave, that's a running play to me. When I'm dumping the ball for throwing screens, I'm not expecting to get 20 yards. If we get 5, hey, I'm happy when we get 5 on a running play.
Bears have to find the right mix between run and pass. The play calling also an issue in that game against the Eagles. Time for State Farm's right combination. For the second week in a row, Jay Cutler was very effective throwing to Alshon Jeffrey in the opening half, including a 49-yard reception that set up the Bears' first touchdown. But the Texans and the Eagles were able to take Jeffrey away with some halftime adjustments, and that pretty much eliminated the Bears' only downfield passing threat. Coach, we're going to take a closer look at that big passing play between Cutler to Jeffrey. Should have been a touchdown, but it was a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, it was. And I tell you what, Jay did a great job of keeping his eyes on the receiver and throwing it there. He was under stress.
Yeah.
He had pressure in his face right there, and he still stayed with the play right there. Obviously, a great route by Jeffrey right here. You know, a little double move, as we call it. You know, he stopped, the defensive back bit on it. Then he gets behind him, and this is what he does great.
Yeah.
At his size and his jumping ability, if it's a jump ball in the air, as it is here, he's going to go up and have a chance to come down with the football.
But why were the Texans and the Eagles able to take him away in the second half?
Well, I think they got physical with him, you know, and anytime you leave him one-on-one and give him a chance to run down the field like we did right there, like the Eagles did, that he's going to have a chance to go up and make a play. So I think you got teams that roll up on him and play physical, now it's a whole different game.
And they need Kevin White to make a bigger impact. Then you can't really roll all the coverage towards Jeffrey like they have in the first 2 games. We're going to use our first time out here on Inside the Huddle. Up next, we head over to the touchscreen. Dave will show us how Carson Wentz was so effective running that up-tempo offense against the Bears. For a rookie quarterback, he looked awfully good under the bright lights of Monday Night Football. We're coming right back with more Inside the Huddle.
For injury law, the choice is simple. Ankin, 312-6 million.
Our involvement with Olivet started about 15 years ago when we were looking for a training camp. I knew Olivet was where we wanted to be. My journey going from ball boy when I was younger and then now to be running a training camp at Olivet, that's something that I never imagined would happen. Olivet Nazarene University, from where you are to where you will be.
Together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. It's the GMC 2016 model year sell down. Now get 20% below MSRP on select Sierra 1500 models in stock. That's over $10,300 on this Sierra SLT Crew.
Something doesn't feel right.
Green lights across the board. What's going on up there?
No backup system, Houston. I'm flying solo here.
Does he have it?
I'm on it. Re-entry in 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for the care package, Houston. Dinner's on me. Just another day in the rocket biz. Oh, fudge nuggets.
We are back with our Ankin Law Player of the Game, and we're going with Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, who showed a lot of poise in only his second NFL game. Wentz completed 21 of 34 for 190 yards and a touchdown, maybe his best stat yet. He has not thrown an interception in either of his 2 NFL starts. We are at the touchscreen. Coach is going to do his magic, show us a couple of plays, how Carson Wentz was able to use his feet. The Bears wanted to put pressure on this young quarterback. They couldn't get to him.
No, and you know what? It was really, it surprised me. It truly did. I mean, this guy played in 1 preseason game, and he was hurt 5 or 6 games of his senior year in college. So, you know, he has done a fantastic job. And I think Doug Peterson, the head coach there, as far as, you know, what he's let him do as far as a play calling standpoint, we're going to see right here, you know, the things I like about him, that he did good. The Bears are in a 4-man rush, and what we're going to see here as this thing gets going right now, I mean, you can see right here, the quarterback, 2 things. You always want a quarterback to be able to have vision down the field. When he's feeling pressure, he's got to be able to keep his eyes on the receiver. We can see that right here, okay, as far as the eyes right there of the quarterback. And the second point that I want to show you right here is from a defensive standpoint, we're getting good pressure on the edge, but the quarterback is going to step up in the pocket. That comes down to there's supposed to be a defensive tackle here. He falls down, and we got a defensive tackle here. What these guys got to do, I used to always tell my defensive tackles, I don't care if you ever get a sack. I promise you, you talk to Richard Dent. One of the biggest reasons Richard Dent was a sack master in the NFL, he had Steve McMichaels and he had Dan Hampton and the fridge pushing that pile so the quarterback cannot step up. And what happens right here, we're going to see there's no pressure inside. He steps up. He's got his eyes on the receiver. It's an easy completion, almost too easy. Then we're going to see here the next play. Okay, we come up here, and on this one right here, okay, let's take a look here. This is what we call a waggle pass, and it's a misdirection pass, and we're going to see movement by the quarterback. And right here, you know, sometimes you see the quarterback, you know, just fake a run. It's always going to be fake a run. Sometimes he turns his back. Sometimes he doesn't. Here he didn't. But the defense, the point I want to make here, on this waggle pass, anytime the quarterback rolls out like this, the way we play it is forget about the coverage. If it's cover 3, cover 2, it don't matter. Whoever, the first guy shows up in the flat, I got him man-to-man. Whoever comes deep, and somebody's going to come deep, my safety's got to cover him. Now, it's a play-action pass. They fake the run. What the culprit right here is your linebackers. The linebackers are going to step up on the run, but then we would coach him where he's got to turn. And I used to say, hey, turn your head and just start running that direction and somehow get in the throwing lane because somebody's going to be coming over. We don't know who, but someone's going to show up. And that's exactly what happens. Yeah. You got to get underneath those throwing lanes. Okay.
There's no question a big part of this year is about developing the Bears' young guys, and they've got some young guys playing in the secondary. We saw a couple of good plays, breaking up passes, starting with DeAndre Hall.
Oh, I think the Bears' secondary, there was decent pass rush. You know, they did come up with 3 sacks. You know, so I mean, the pass rush they had pressure on them. Sometimes pressure's as good as a sack.
Yep.
Right here, we're going to see Hall make a great play. Watch up top here. We're going to get him going. We got him highlighted right there. And the thing I like about this is, you know, when defensive backs can cover a receiver, like we're doing right there, and look back at the quarterback, and he's got great vision right there. He's closed on the receiver. He can feel him right there. He's got his eyes on the quarterback. That's when you have an opportunity to make a play on the ball, and that's exactly what happened.
Good size, long arms. He's a good prospect.
He's a great prospect, and I'll tell you what, he's learning by the end of the year, it's going to be something special. This is what.
Glenn.
Oh yeah, I love this play right here, and I'll tell you what. Let me make this point here before we go on with it. If I'm John Fox, I'm going to show this play right here to my entire team. And I'm going to say, guys, in the first 2 ball games, we had the lead, or it's close at halftime, and we're not finishing. So I don't care if you're an offensive lineman, in this case, Jacoby Glenn, a defensive back, or if you're the quarterback or running back, finish the play. And here's a great example of that. Right now, the receiver should make this catch. Yep. But this is a great job. And I'm going to make this point right here. What I love about this play is, watch what you happen. He gets beat. He gets beat. I'm going to freeze it right there, right there. And what we coach him on, if I'm covering you, Mark, okay, right, and I'm covering you, and I'm looking back, we're in good shape. But if you get past me, you're going that way, and I'm beat. Now I'm not thinking of anything except I'm going to do everything I can to catch you, and I'm going to try to come through you and break it up. And that's what he does. I mean, he's doing what he's being coached. He finishes the play. Very nice.
Yeah, he slipped on the turf, didn't give up, and made a play there.
Absolutely.
And last play we're going to show, a lot of us were surprised the Bears decided to go with the veteran, Eddie Royal, as their punt returner. He's looked very good. He's also looked good in the receiving game.
You know, I love this play. Okay, let me show you a couple things here for our viewers. The ball was on the hash mark. Everybody see where the hash marks are. We got one there, we got one hash mark there, and one here. 80% of the time, when the ball's on the hash mark, the punt is going to be into the short side of the field. They're going to kick the ball over here, where now they have a better chance of containing the return guy.
Yep.
Guess what? What happens is they kick the ball down the middle of the field, and the Bears have a sideline return to the wide side of the field. This is a great call, great execution. And I want everybody to watch. At this point right here, look at, you can see the Eagles are covering, but look at the Bear people. They're starting to work over here to the wall right now. And watch what Eddie Royal does right here to set this up. He catches the ball, he makes a little move over here, boom, right there. And what he does, look, right here, he gets the defenders pursuing. They're all pursuing just with this little move that he made there, and now he's going to come back and use his blockers and get to the wall. This is a great design play. Look at the blockers right here. Now, the coaching point here. Once we set the wall, and you can see all the blockers right here. We got the wall set. Now, don't ever turn 31. Where are you going? Don't worry about this guy. I would tell him, get going up the field. He'll block him. Don't ever block anybody from the back end of it. We want to be moving to the goal line. So we got all of our blockers coming to the goal line right here. I mean, this is a great design play. Eddie Royal sets it up, but it's a nice job by the guys up front blocking. Love it. Absolutely love this play.
Don't block in the bank. You don't want to see that yellow flag.
No, absolutely not. Stay on your feet. Stay on your feet. Perfect. There we go.
Coach, thank you very much. Good stuff as always. After a final timeout, we're going to take a look at some other quarterback play around the league. The Vikings trade for Sam Bradford. Will that provide some early dividends in a big division win at Green Bay Sunday night? While Packer fans, well, they're wondering a little bit what's gone wrong with Aaron Rodgers. He looked a little bit shaky behind a porous offensive line. We are right back with more Inside the Huddle.
In Chicago, some things just go together, like front porches and blue W's, bricks and ivy, Waveland Avenue and souvenirs, Jake and State Farm. Like home and auto insurance with State Farm, they just go together, and they save you time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Good or better? The Hyundai Tucson versus the Ford Escape. Estimated fueling costs, the Ford's higher. Estimated routine repairs, the Ford's higher.
What's happening?
In fact,
Guys?
Hyundai has the lowest 5-year cost to own of all brands for 2016.
Guys, very funny.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai.
And this is the reason to buy now. Lease the Tucson for a limited time for only $179 a month. Visit buyhyundai.com.
At Buffalo Wild Wings, you've got options. We've made it too easy for you. Simply call in your order or head to BuffaloWildWings.com and pick up at your nearest B-Dubs location. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Tomorrow, Todd Frazier and your Sox hit the East Coast for an interleague matchup with the Phils. It's AL Central versus NL East. White Sox, Phillies, live at 6 p.m. on CSN.
What you doing?
Just checking my free credit score at Credit Karma. What the?
You're welcome. I just helped you dodge a bullet.
But I was just checking my...
Shh. Don't you know that checking your credit score lowers it? Just be cool.
Actually, checking your credit score with Credit Karma doesn't affect it at all.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Huh, so I guess I could just check my credit score then. Oh.
Check out Credit Karma today. Credit Karma. Give yourself some credit.
Sorry about that.
Accept the Challenge is brought to you by Prudential. Bring your challenges.
No question about it, Sam Bradford accepted the challenge in his first start as a member of the Minnesota Vikings. How about 22 of 31 for 286 yards and 2 TDs? That's a quarterback rating of 121.2, and that will get you a lot of wins in the NFL. Welcome back to Inside the Huddle. Coach, I know you talk a lot with Norv Turner. You guys work together in Dallas. What's he saying about Sam Bradford? You know, they gave up a 1 and a 4. People were saying that's too much. This Bradford kid can play.
Well, you know, obviously everyone knew he had talent. Norv told me a week ago, you know, when they started Hill, that it was obvious to everybody on the field that Bradford had the most talent. You know, it was just a matter of how quick he could learn the offense. And who would have ever thought that if Adrian Peterson is not a factor in the game, that they could beat the Packers? And you know, you talked about the numbers. We showed everyone the numbers he put up right there. 0 interceptions. That's why his quarterback rating was 121. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And people around the NFL will know the name Stephon Diggs from here on out. That kid is good.
Yeah, 4th or 5th round pick out of Maryland.
Yep.
And, you know, they've got some weapons there now. They truly do. Rudolph at tight end and Norv, you know, the nice thing is that this kid's developing and, you know, all of a sudden they'll focus in on him this week and then they'll, you know, use somebody else.
And they were lucky the injury to Adrian Peterson, not season-ending. He could be back in a couple of weeks. On the other side of the field, Aaron Rodgers was running for his life. They were collapsing the pocket. We know the Vikings have a good defense, but, you know, Rodgers didn't have his best year last season. Through the first 2 games, he looks a little shaky. Is he on the decline, or what do you see?
No, I want to say, you know, we can talk about all the problems that the Bears have on the offensive line. I think the Packers are going through the same thing, Mark. I truly do. I mean, Eddie Lacy, you know, is not running the ball, in my opinion, like everyone expects him to run the ball. And I think Aaron Rodgers is under a lot of pressure. Now, the Vikings might have the best defensive front, one of the best defensive fronts in the NFL. So, you know, that has something to do with it. But I think that offensive line for Green Bay is not quite as solid as what everybody assumes it is.
Before we go, we got to show you this great catch from the college ranks. Ohio State, Oklahoma. Dave was there working the game as part of the Fox crew. 4 touchdown passes, J.T. Barrett to a kid named Noah Brown. And how about this one just before that? How does he make this catch?
You know, I don't know. You know, this is, we always say, let's recruit players that do things that you don't have to coach. Guess what? You don't coach this. This is this kid's first start ever.
I know.
First start. And look at, he pins the ball on the defensive back's back and holds on to it. This is a great play. If this isn't number 1 on SportsCenter, nothing will be.
He had 5 catches in his whole career. He tied an Ohio State school record with 4 TD catches against Oklahoma. That was amazing. That is going to do it from here. Thank you so much for watching Inside the Huddle, presented by Ankin Law. Our next show will be Monday night at 10:30 p.m. following the nationally televised Sunday night game in Dallas. We hope the Bears have better luck in that game, and we hope you have a great week.
For injury law, the choice is simple. Ankin, 312-6 million.
Our involvement with Olivet started about 15 years ago when we were looking for a training camp. I knew Olivet was where we wanted to be. My journey going from ball boy when I was younger and then now to be running a training camp at Olivet, that's something that I never imagined would happen. Olivet Nazarene University, from where you are to where you will be.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
What are you, superheroes?
We're 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
This is awesome! Where's Raph?
Well, that went well.
As long as you work together as brothers, you shall always succeed.
Bye, Turtle!
That's a nice name to say goodbye.
Movies start at Channel 125.
The staff was warm and friendly.
The sessions with all the Advanced Urology Associates professionals were inspiring and motivating.
I would recommend this facility to all cancer victims.
If you or a loved one is affected by prostate cancer, the Prostate Cancer Center at Advanced Urology Associates can help, specializing in only prostate cancer treatment. And our results, well, they speak for themselves. Call today for a consultation in one of our 3 state-of-the-art facilities. Advanced Urology Associates. Safe, simple, and effective.
Did you know that the average funeral can cost more than $8,300? I didn't want my family burdened with the cost of my funeral, so I called Final Expense Direct and got a policy of my own. For as little as $1 a day, Final Expense Direct has policies that can help pay the cost of your funeral. Plus, you'll get the Family Relief Guide. There's no medical exam, and my policy can't be canceled.
Call now for a free quote. Call 800-871-3452.
Hey, it's us. It's the Lance Briggs Show. Mike Sy with the former 7-time Pro Bowler. Lance Briggs, I am Pat Boyle. Let's start with the Monday Nighter. A 2-point Philadelphia lead at the half got out of control with an ugly second half turned in by the Bears. 3 turnovers in their first 4 possessions that led to 14 points and a runaway victory for Philly.
But you have this week and you have last week where the Bears were in a good position. You know, whether it be in that first half, you know, and this one, the Bears should have been up 1 point, you know, with that 31-yard field goal miss by Connor Barth. Then you find yourself opening up the second half, and, I mean, everything goes wrong.
And it was a ton of injuries as well. Now, we think, you know, we looked at this 53-man roster and said, okay, I think there's some upgrades in most areas from last year's roster, but it's thin. There wasn't a lot of depth to that roster. It's going to be tested this week in Dallas. Jay ends up with the thumb injury. Now, there were reports that he banged it up initially in the Texans game.
Yeah.
And then it got worse in the Eagles game, possibly on that sack fumble.
Only he knows.
Only he knows. Only the doctors know, as John Fox likes to say. You know, they ran 7 consecutive times after the strip sack, and the Eagles had gone 3 and out. And then they had that 3rd and 6 where Jay short arms it to Zach Miller. It's about 5-6 yards short of him. And you heard Gruden say on the telecast, I don't know, maybe Cutler is hurt.
Yeah.
I think we all thought that.
Right.
And then they sent him out again, and he ends up with basically what turned out to be a pick 6. He was pushed out at the 2. I mean, do you think they left him in too long?
Well, I mean, you're caught between a rock and a hard place on that one. You know, you take him out because you say you're going to get injured, you know, it's in the championship game, and everybody you know, I mean, and then you get him in a game like this, and you keep him in. I think if you're a player and you decide to be in, then there should be no excuse.
Well, you guys never want to tap out of games. Now, first of all, let's pick up. There is the narrative, the national narrative.
Right.
There's a lot of things you can say about Jay Cutler. Doesn't take care of the ball well, makes some bad decisions.
Doesn't look like he doesn't care.
Yep, that too. But not being tough is not in the vocabulary.
Absolutely,
you cannot say that.
Agreed.
So that's a lazy narrative that we see across the national television landscape. But when I look at, you know, yesterday in particular, the Monday Nighter, here's the thing. If you can't make the basic throw, this isn't a question about toughness, is can you do your job?
Yep.
And if you can't grip a football because of the thumb, and you cannot make a pass, then you need to say for the betterment of the team, I need to sit down, or better yet, on the sidelines, they need to assess it and say, look, he can't grip the ball. We need to make a change. We don't want to go to Hoyer, but we have to.
What was it, three years ago, Trestman's first year in Chicago, we're playing the Washington Redskins. I take a fall. I end up falling on my shoulder. A guy falls on me, and I know something's wrong. I can feel my shoulder pop out. I'm on the sideline. I get tested, and I tell them that I want to go back in. The doctor tests me, says you actually passed the test. And as I go to pick up my helmet with the hurt arm, I can't lift my helmet up to put it on my head. So I grab it again. I try to put it on my head with the hurt arm, and I've set it down. I said I can't play. That was a realization that I can't go out there and play football.
What did you make of the Pernell McPhee getting into Jay's face as he made his way off after the pick?
I think there's cameras. There's too many cameras everywhere now. I think, you know, we catch every angle. We catch everything.
Double nickel, we'll see you.
You better eat that burger.
So, okay, too many cameras. But, hey, this is the world we live in. So
right. It's football. You got emotional guys, guys that are pumped up. You also got to think about what time of the game that is. You know, defense is saying, you know, hey, we've had some turnovers. We've held them to 3 points. You know, let's stop getting turnovers.
Yeah.
Or stop giving the ball away. You know, let's start doing what we need to do in order to win this game. But wake up.
Well, okay, so Pernell could actually, you know, go to the offensive line, and maybe I would start with Bobby Massey.
It could.
It's been a rough ride for Massey at right tackle. Your thoughts on what you've seen from him and that O-line?
Oh, they've got a lot of work. They've got a lot of work. But, you know, at the same time, you know, they need a lot of work. It's also a new line that's getting put together here.
Yeah.
You know, and if you only rushing the ball, 7 times in the first half, I don't think you're giving them an opportunity to really gel. You know, the best way for offensive linemen to gel are to run forward, to double team D tackles, and commit to running the ball. And the Bears haven't committed to running the ball.
They did on that one series when they knew Jay's arm, his thumb was hurt, and they went with 7 consecutive run plays. Jordan Howard had some big runs there, like 7, 8 yards, 10 yards, and then that was it. So another question coming into this season, Dowell Loggins. How would Jay be able to adapt, and the offense for that matter, to a new OC? They did great with Adam Gase.
Yeah. They committed to running the ball.
They committed to running the ball. And look, that's what Fox said. Look, I'm going to run the football. It's going to be running back by committee. We haven't seen running back by committee, and we haven't seen a commitment to it.
Right.
So
it's a lot of pressure on a quarterback. And I know, you know, everybody wants to see quarterbacks throw the ball and stuff and these big plays and this. But if you want to win games, you need to do the things that allow you to win games. And with this personnel, run the ball. Commit to running the ball and allow these linemen to push D linemen back, allow the play action to develop, and then you can get the ball, you can spread the ball around to everybody. Because you have a lot of playmakers now.
You guys were great on the postgame show on Monday night. Danny Trevathan joined you guys on the postgame show. he looked to seem to be in good spirits.
Yeah,
we find out on Tuesday he's going to have surgery on his thumb on Wednesday this week. And assuming they're going to cast it up, he may miss a game, but assuming they cast it up, how difficult is it to do your job as a linebacker when one of your hands is cast?
It's going to be very tough to catch picks. It's going to be very tough to wrap up. You know, there are certain angles. There's certain angles in taking on ball carriers that you're going to have to find a different way to do it. You know, instead of wrapping, you may have to hit. You know, you might have to swipe. You know, with that club hand. But he's violent enough that it's not going to matter with that club or not. He'll get the ball carrier down. But catching picks is going to be real difficult.
A lot of injuries from the Monday Nighter. Lamar Houston, you heard John Fox say it was serious.
Yeah.
The reports late on Tuesday is that it's an ACL, done for the year. Kadeem Carey with a hamstring strain. How about Eddie Goldman? Out 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain.
I know how those are.
Antrell Roll sat in that chair last year and had a high ankle sprain. And
it's tough. I had a high ankle sprain in college and in the Senior Bowl. At the Senior Bowl, couldn't come back in, and it took a lot of time to get back to where you can feel comfortable.
How big a loss is Houston?
Houston's huge. I mean, that whole D-line, that whole front seven, they're a team that did a great job gelling last year, and they were putting a lot of pressure, you know, on the quarterback. And, you know, it was only a matter of time before that unit was going to continue to do that. You know, that's a big loss right now. We got to find somebody that can plug in and do the job.
You know, most of these games in the National Football League are decided by one possession, not the Bears in their first 2 games. But, you know, special teams obviously plays a big part of it. Connor Barth misses that, 31-yard chip shot, stoinks it off the left upright.
That's good terminology.
And then the crowd starts chanting, Robbie, Robbie, Robbie.
Right.
I know you've talked to Robbie. Robbie may be on this show in the upcoming weeks. But, you know, already we're seeing some of the personnel decisions. Like, I mean, I'm going to say Barth is not going to connect, but look, that's basically shorter than an extra point in the current NFL.
Right. The studio was going crazy in here. You know, me and Alex were going crazy about that miss. You know, because you think of a week ago and a week prior that it was a fourth and 1. You know, and to me, it's a routine. You get your kicker out there and you kick him. They didn't want him to go out there and kick it, you know, because they didn't want to hear chants like Robbie, Robbie, Robbie.
Yeah.
You know, if he were to miss that. And I'm sure, you know, Connor Barth, he might, you know, he's probably going to do well. He's probably going to continue he's going to make some kicks here, you know, in the future. But, you know, it does bring up the term, why exactly did we get rid of Robbie Gould?
Or why didn't we add a certain player? Next up, it's Dallas Cowboys. And the Bears, Ryan Pace, and the entire Bears organization has to look at the quarterback starting for the Cowboys that they passed up on 3 times in the 4th round alone in Dak Prescott.
Would you have passed him up?
Here's the thing. I would have had a developmental quarterback on my roster.
True.
Yes, absolutely. You know, fine, have Brian Hoyer as your backup, but I would have had a quarterback, especially when Ryan Pace came here and in his opening remarks were, you know, I'm going to be committed to adding quarterbacks through the draft. 2 drafts, he hasn't drafted 1. So that, you know, it's going to be interesting to sit and watch a guy that you could have had.
That's because he had to spend all this time developing the other players that he drafted.
And you know what? And the irony is, so they had 3 picks in that 4th round. 2 of them were inactive for the Monday Nighter. So not only did you pass on Dak, but the guys you added didn't even make your active roster.
Didn't produce well. They're probably going to be active now.
You might be active. I mean, Mark Shanowski joked. He said,
I got a call.
You got a call?
Yeah. I had to hang it up.
You had to put it down? Well, you know what? You've had some of the biggest games in your career came against Dallas. A lot of them in Dallas.
Yeah.
The Monday Nighter, October 1st, 2012, the 74-yard pick 6. He also had 6 tackles and a forced fumble. I don't even know if you rate, you know, the top games in your career, but is that one of them?
Yeah, that's got to be up there. You know, some of the games that I rate as my favorite games weren't even games where I was the one who led our team in any particular category. It was just a game that we won defensively. You think of that Arizona game.
Yeah.
And that game will always go down to me as one of the greatest games I've ever played in. Because it was literally won on defense and special teams.
You won a football game, and you turned it over 6 times.
Right, and right.
You guys turned. I mean, that is. And the quarterback rating was in the single digits, and you won a football game.
And we almost did it again. We almost did it again playing against New England Patriots that year.
That's true.
The only problem is I think they turned it over 5 times. We turned it over 6 times, and it came down to the very last play.
Well, it was not pretty against Philadelphia at Soldier Field, but there were a few bright spots, all right? Coming up after the break here on the Lance Briggs Show, we'll have Briggs Ballers, where Lance runs down maybe his top 5 players from the Bears' perspective in that loss to the Eagles.
In Chicago, some things just go together, like front porches and blue W's, bricks and ivy, Waveland Avenue and souvenirs, Jake and State Farm. Like home and auto insurance with State Farm, they just go together, and they save you time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Our involvement with Olivet started about 15 years ago when we were looking for a training camp. I knew Olivet was where we wanted to be. My journey going from ball boy when I was younger and then now to be running a training camp at Olivet, that's something that I never imagined would happen. Olivet Nazarene University, from where you are to where you will be.
Did you know your business doesn't have to suffer from slow internet? Comcast Business now offers blazing fast internet speeds up to 250 megabits per second, over 6 times faster than DSL. Get internet for as low as $59.95 a month. Call today. Comcast Business, built for business. Did you know sharing Wi-Fi with your customers could leave your business exposed? Only Comcast Business offers Wi-Fi Pro, 2 separate networks, one that's private for you and one that's public for your customers. Upgrade to Wi-Fi Pro for only $19.95 a month. Call today. Comcast Business, built for business.
Sales plus service plus selection. Yes, everything seems to be adding up right. At Oak Brook Toyota, a deal you'll pick once you see our arithmetic.
Lease a 2016 Toyota Corolla for just $139 a month or a 2017 Camry for only $189 a month.
Bob Rohrman. Bob Rohrman's Oak Brook Toyota in Westmont, only 5 minutes west of the Tri-State on Ogden Avenue.
We'll figure it out. I think I like our roster. I like our choices, and we'll do everything we can to get everybody ready for Dallas. Last night was not acceptable. It was, I think our fans were great. The atmosphere was great. The stage was great. We weren't, and we got to get it fixed.
Welcome back to the Lance Briggs Show. John Fox saying John Fox type things.
I'm sure you did.
You got a good. That's a good impression.
Yeah,
And we're continuing to break down that Bears 29-14 loss to Philadelphia. Even in the loss, there were some guys that stood out. We call them Briggs Ballers, and let's roll the open for that. Wow, it was so much better when you were playing.
It was.
Deep voice and stuff. All right, so let's check things out here. We're going to have you kind of rate 5 to 1 guys that have impressed you, not only maybe just in game 2, but even in the opener. So let's start with number 5.
All right, it's very tough to find these in a loss, but
Elshon Jeffrey.
Still my favorite Bear. He's one of the leaders of the team. He's probably the biggest playmaker on offense. Just don't want to make sure that you don't give up too early. Make sure you keep fighting for 4 quarters.
Number 4.
Eddie Royal. I didn't get a chance to see any of you last year, so I couldn't break down any tape on you, but you are going to be one of the primetime players for the Bears. Big-time kickoff, punt return.
Yeah.
And it was clutch on passes.
And Jay says he runs precise routes, and when he's healthy, he's productive.
Yeah.
Number 3, Harold Jones-Corte.
Okay, so this right here defensively might be one of my favorite Bears behind Willie Young, because this guy hits everything moving, okay? It looked like he might have got worn down a little bit in that fourth quarter, all the big hits, but that guy comes downhill and he pops.
Now here's the surprise. At number 2 and 1, the former linebackers going with...
Come on. Chicago, you guys all have to appreciate this right here, okay? Because it's been a few years since we've been able to say great linebacker play. And we're getting very good linebacker play right now from our 2 top linebackers, Trevathan and Freeman. And they played not only from the first snap, they played as hard on the very last snap that they did on the first. So these guys are ballers.
I think we all thought Danny, coming from Denver, would be the marquee guy. This guy's balling. Are you surprised how well he's played? Let's just say that. Are you surprised?
You know what? I'm not necessarily. Not necessarily. I guess when you look at it, you all you need defensively or as a linebacker, you're looking for a few things. You're looking for instincts, which he has. You're looking for a read and reaction, which he's shown on the screen pass. And you got to be able to hit. You got to be as violent as you possibly can. And these guys got it.
All right, there's been a ton of injuries, not only with the Bears, but we're seeing them all around the National Football League. Earlier, there was a report, and Adam Schefter said he talked to a bunch of NFL coaches, and they said the biggest worry that they had coming into the season was that because the off-season limitations on practice, the limitations of working out in training camp, and the emphasis of not playing preseason games, we're going to see a ton of injuries the first 2-3 weeks of the NFL season, and we are seeing that.
Yeah.
As a former player, what can we do to change that?
I mean, what can you do? I think player safety is the most important thing, right? We're in a league where you're not going to go backwards, when things are going to be.
Like here, if you were talking to the players and you said, "Look, guys, I know we want less practice or OTAs or optional, all that stuff in the off season, but here it is. If we do it, it may keep our career going longer. Like it's a give and take. You want time off, but yet you want to have a long, successful career.
Okay, but if you go back to the 60s, 70s, the 80s, when guys were just grinding out. One of the things that you want to prevent, is our guys that are unable to move when they're done playing this game. You give up so much to play this game. Physically, it's taxing. Mentally, it's taxing. When you're done, you look at some of the former greats. You go up, you meet a legend. You go up, you meet some of the legends from the Bears and some of the legends from the Cowboys or whatever it is. And these guys are struggling, to get from point A to point B. And that's what we're saying. This is when we talk about player safety. I don't see this. I don't see it changing to the point where you're like, all right, we need to add 2-a-days. All right, you need to start doing 2-a-days because we need to get guys tougher. Guys going to have to it's a violent game. You have to be tough in order to be successful.
We're going to switch it up coming up. We're going to get a little light and get maybe away from a lot of hardcore football conversation. We're going to go to your questions that you submitted on Facebook or Twitter, including this one. Who would win an epic battle between Lance and Joey Chestnut? Inquiring minds want to know. You'll find out next on the Lance Briggs Show.
Definitely not me.
You're not taking these.
Hey. You're not taking those.
Whoa. You're not taking that. Come with me.
You're not taking that.
You're not taking that. You're not taking that. Mom, I'm taking the Subaru.
Don't be late. Even when we're not there to keep them safe, our Subaru Outback will be.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
It's the fabric that brings an entire nation together. It says to the world, we will never lose faith. We believe in this team. Her generation, his generation, the next generation. Maybe this October, if we fly it high enough and loud enough and proud enough, well, you get the idea.
I need more time!
You only get a handful of minutes to start a new life.
We gotta go!
Keep looking, he's gotta be here!
He's coming!
so you grab what you need to get you through.
Oh, there it is.
I'm gonna go have our baby now.
I'm so nervous.
Brighten up your home with Patriot Lighting from Menards. This Dynasty 3-light track light has a brushed nickel finish with clear textured glass. Just $59. Or pick up this 5-light chandelier for only $129. Mohawk carpet is stylish, durable, and soft underfoot. Copper Village Frisé carpet comes in 3 colors, only $119 a square foot. North Star Frisé carpet also comes in 3 colors, just $199 a square foot during Menards Fall Catalog Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Time for the State Farm right combination. And in the first 2 games of this campaign, Cowboys rookie quarterback Dak Prescott has completed 13 passes to wide receiver Cole Beasley. Beasley, 140 receiving yards so far, and 9 of his catches have resulted in a first down. Back in the Lance Briggs Show, time to answer your questions. You submitted either on Facebook or Twitter. Ohio 2 has this one for you. Who's the one quarterback you wish you could have sacked but never had a chance to?
I don't think that I ever sacked Peyton Manning, and I always wanted to. I think I got close and got knocked down or something. Somebody else got to him right before me.
Deplorable Sandpiper wants to know, all the years it was you and 54, and
Yep.
Brian Urlacher, of course. Who was the 3rd favorite linebacker to play with?
Hey, man, you're really trying to cause some problems right now. We've always had a good unit. I'm going to say Hunter Hill. If I say Hunter Hillemeyer, I'm going to get a call from Nick Roach. If I say Nick Roach, I'm going to get a call from Hunter Hillemeyer. You know, so I'm going to say that
Nick Hillemeyer.
Yeah. Yeah. Hunter Roach. Definitely Hunter Roach.
All right. Jordan Carlson wants to know, what was going through your mind after Devin went for 7 in the opening kickoff in Miami in the Super Bowl?
Same thing that was going through your mind.
I was chest pumping with
Right.
Jerry Azuma.
They're like,
I was going, oh my God, they're going to win the Super Bowl. And then it all went to, you know
where.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Jared wants to know, do you think you can beat Joey Chestnut in a hot dog eating contest?
No.
Interesting question.
No.
No?
No, I don't. No. No. I can't even. No.
All right.
Just no.
We'll leave it at that. Time for one last break here on the Lance Briggs Show. Coming up, the always popular Hurry Up, Fast and Furious questions from the Gridiron and Beyond, the Dallas edition.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, like their photo claims tool. It helps settle your claim quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call. Esurance does insurance a smarter way, which saves money, like bundling home and auto coverage, which reduces red tape, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's home and auto insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
The city of Chicago emerged from the ashes, literally, and rose to greatness. And in those fires, a certain toughness, honesty, and work ethic was forged. A straightforward, what you see is what you get attitude. There's no pretense. There's no gray area. There's only black and white. It's time to take the field. It's time to play some ball. It's time to step up.
Do you have too many bills but not enough money? Would you like one lower payment for all debt, little or no money down? I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Our Chapter 13 plans stop collections and creditors in one day for as low as $95 every 2 weeks. Get rid of bill collectors and high car payments. Get one lower payment today. Call or click now.
When you need to be debt-free, call 1-800-CALL-PFG. That's 1-800-CALL-PFG.
I'm Dan Fields of the Fields Auto Group. We've prepared a Joe Madden Signature Edition vehicle. It will be raffled off at the end of the season, with the proceeds going to many of Joe's favorite charities.
But not before I have the pleasure of driving it to and from the ballpark. Thank you, Dan, and everyone at Fields Auto Group for this special vehicle and for making this all possible.
For official raffle rules and complete details on how you can win this Joe Madden signature vehicle, go to fieldsauto.com.
It is an honor for Fields Auto Group to help good causes like Cubs Charities and Misericordia. Fields matters because you matter.
All right, it's the Hurry Up, Fast and Furious from the Gridiron and Beyond. It's the Dallas edition. Original TV series Dallas ran from 79 to 1991. Remember Who Shot JR? You probably weren't alive for that. Can you hum the theme song to Dallas? Wow, shaking the shoulders.
Yeah,
nice.
Make you do that a little bit?
Shimmy shake. What's your favorite Tex-Mex dish?
What do you call those? The Tex-Mex rolled tacos.
Okay.
You know, it's pretty
sounds
good.
good.
And you get a little dipping sauce.
What better to wash one of those down than the world's first margarita machine was invented in Dallas in 1971. I bet you didn't know that. Do you like your margaritas frozen or on the rocks?
On the rocks, of course.
Do you have
Cadillac style.
Do you have them at the Double Nickel?
Oh, only the best, Pat.
Oh, that's good to hear. The tallest building in Dallas is the 72-story Bank of America Plaza. Are you afraid of heights?
They're not my favorite thing in the world, but I wouldn't say that I'm definitely afraid of it.
Okay. Do you like Western movies?
I love Western.
Oh,
a good Western.
We got a question for you. If so, what is your favorite Western movie?
Hang 'em High. I like 310 to Yuma.
All right. Sounds like a personal decision.
Yeah.
Hang 'em high. Vanilla Ice was born in Dallas. Who didn't know that? What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? See what we did there? What's your favorite?
My favorite flavor of ice cream is like peanut butter and something such and such. Peanut butter!
Peanut butter! Woo! Hey, are they going to be Dallas?
Yes.
Yes. You heard it here first. Thanks for watching the Lance Briggs Show, everybody.
The Lance Briggs Show is brought to you in part by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
There are things in life that just go together. It's like they're always side by side. Because when we put them together, they're better. Like home and auto insurance from State Farm. They just go together. And they save you time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
I've been waiting a long time for this. Oh, yeah.
Let's go! You see something cool?
When do we start? I could do this all day.
Movies start at Channel 125.
Talk is cheap. Is your lawyer getting you the results that you and your family deserve? For over 29 years, I've worked hard to get my clients the results that they expect and deserve. We don't charge any fee unless we get your settlement. Call our office 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With over 10,000 satisfied clients and millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts, our results speak for themselves. Call me now and we'll fight for you.
I'm Carlos Rodon, and you're watching the home for White Sox baseball, CSN Chicago.
Ross around third, relay throw will not be made. Stumbling, bumbling, and rumbling.
Grandpa Ross still has some youth in his legs, while Lester's arm looks October ready. Hey everyone, I'm Kip Lewis. Welcome to Sportsnet Central, presented by CLR. The Cubs lefty continued to add more credentials to his Cy Young case.
If Jay's ready to do it, fine. If not, we'll go with Brian Hoyer.
Bruised up on both sides of the ball, the Bears prepare to cowboy up for Sunday Night Football. Plus, the White Sox desire a win in Philly, while Taves and Kaner duel on the ice.
Yeah, I'm feeling like a cubby because I'm finna be winning.
Let's wrap up. Sportsnet Central starts right now.
You're connected to to Sportsnet Central, presented by CLR.
The Cubs' John Lester making his 30th start of the season. It's the 9th straight season the lefty has hit that milestone. Cubs hosting the Reds. We begin in the second. Lester getting some help behind him from Chris Bryant. Brandon Phillips at the dish. He lines one into left field, but Bryant laying out, takes away a hit. Diving grab for the MVP candidate. You might see that in our plays of the day a little bit later. And in the bottom of the inning, Lester with David Ross on first, helping out his own cause.
Lester out of the right center, and that's going to get down. Let's see if Ross can score. Holt's got the ball. Ross around third. Relay throw will not be made. Stumbling, bumbling, and rumbling.
Going good, and about halfway around third here, he's going to just hit some quicksand right there. But he's chugging, he's blowing, and he's going.
Get some oxygen for that man.
Lester plating Grandpa Rossi for his 6th RBI of the year. Cubs with the early lead. Moving ahead to the 4th. Cubs now leading 2-zip, 2 on, 2 out for Brian. He pops up a Wandy Peralta pitch. Joey Votto with the back to the infield, runs out to make the play, but the ball goes down for a bloop double. Bryant makes it 3-0. Next man up, the other half of the Brizzo connection. That would be Anthony Rizzo. He goes opposite field with ducks on the pond. A pair of runs come around. The Cubs score 4 in the 4th. Take a 5-0 lead. To the 6th we go. Lester in cruise control. Joey Votto stepped in. The former NL MVP smoked a line drive right back at Lester. The ball bounced off the southpaw's arm. He would go down in pain, but he would remain in the game. Thankfully, the ball made contact with Lester's non-throwing arm. There was a pretty nice bruise, though, left as a souvenir. Lester threw 7 innings of 1-run ball, punching out 5 along the way. Good defense, clutch hitting, power pitching, and all together the Cubs dispose of the Reds 6-1. They take the first 2 games of the series. Kelly Kroll is at Wrigley Field. She's got your Coors Light game reports.
Fine. My right hand. I don't need it.
John Lester played it down after the game, but this was a scary moment for the Cubs and their postseason hopes as they watched him take a line drive off his right wrist in the 6th inning.
It's my right hand. I don't need it. Like I said, I mean, all it's there for is to hold the glove. It'll be fine. It's a long way from my heart.
I was thinking, please don't be hurt, right? I mean, there goes my job, right? I got a couple games left, selfishly. I saw where I had hit him on the wrist, and I knew it wasn't his throwing hand, and I know he's a tough guy, but it was a pretty good line drive that hit him pretty solid on the wrist.
You know, it's really well struck. It went out there. Of course, you wanted none of it or of that, and I had to find out where did it hit you, because I didn't even know from the side. And he finally fessed up it was a non-throwing wrist, and he said, I'm fine. And so I watched it, and it looked like he was fine. I asked David when he came in. I said, does it look normal? He said, yeah. So we just went with it. Told him to get out of the game and go ice it.
The southpaw picked up his 18th win of the season, best in the National League. He turned in his 19th outing with 1 run or fewer, best in the majors. And his ERA is 2nd in baseball, only to teammate Kyle Hendricks. And yet, even with Cy Young numbers, Lester still doesn't consider himself a lock to be the Cubs' Game 1 starter in the NLDS.
I don't expect to do anything. I'm along for the ride. Joe comes up to me and tells me when I'm pitching, I'll show up that day and I'll prepare just like I have the rest of the season. We have a really, really good staff. So if I'm the guy,